Hi, I'm Rhonda Buss, and I'm back to talk to you about the construction phase of the Colette Clover pant pattern. Today we're going to talk about the markings on your pattern and actually putting the pants together. The first thing that you need to think about is what markings that you really need to pay attention to. And really and truly, we really should pay attention to everything. There is a dot for the end of the zipper. This pair of pants, the zipper is on the side seam, not in the center back. If you do decide to put the pockets in the pants, pay close attention to the dots that are here. What I do is I don't really mark my dots. I just clip my pattern so that actually, once this is pinned to the fabric, I've clipped the fabric and the pattern at the same time, and then I know exactly where those dots should be. There's also a little notch here on the front pant. Now on the back pant, there is a tiny little zipper, or excuse me, not a zipper, but a dart. And this dart is, it's a nice little dart, especially for the roundness of our backside. And if you'll remember, I actually added on a little bit for my roundness. So you might think, well, what do I do with the dart? No big deal, just extend the dart, and then I make the little clips here so that I know where the top of my dart is. And then you can see here, I put a dot here where I can do a tailor tack or mark the point of my dart with a marking pen. And you can also mark the dart with a tracing wheel and tracing paper. So once we have all of our markings done, our pants are cut and our markings have been done, then it's time to start putting the pants together. The face, the only place on the pant that it requires a little bit of interfacing is on the facing. And because of the fact that, remember, this has, our fabric should have some lycra stretch to it, I like to use an interfacing that is a knit interfacing so that it will move with the fabric of that we're using. It's very lightweight, has a nice little fusible on the back, works great with this type of a garment. So I also showed you on the pant about the markings of the pockets. The pockets would have the same markings to correspond with the little dots that were on the pattern. You can see them here. I'll put them against this fabric so you can see it a little bit better. But if you remember, there was a notch that told us that this was the front of our pant, and on either side was where our pockets should line up with the facing. So what you want to do is sew the pocket onto the facing first. You'll do that to the facing as well as the pant, because the pockets have been also notched here and sewn. Once you have that done, then we need to sew our facing to our two facings, the back facing and the front facing, together. Simple to do. And of course, we'll want to press our seam allowance open. Lucky me, the iron actually matches my fabric. Can't get any more coordinated as a seamstress. All right, so once that's together, let's just put that aside for now. And we've already put the pocket onto our pant, on both sides. What I do is I sew up my crotch seam as well as my side seam. I should have shown you this one first. So the side seam is sewn together, the crotch seam is sewn together. On this side, I've left the side seam open because I need to add my zipper. Now, you know, there's lots of ways that you can put a zipper into a garment. You can hand pick it, which of course is beautiful, but a little bit time consuming. You can do a center applied zipper, but what looks really nice in something like this is an invisible zipper. And of course an invisible zipper is one that when it comes together, it just looks like the seam. You don't see any stitching at all. So most people say that you should use an invisible zipper foot. I don't know if I'm just lazy or what, but I never do. What I do with my zipper, and I'll show you, is I unzip it first, and you'll see that the coils are rolled to the inside. So the first thing that I do is I take my zipper, I've unzipped it, and I roll the coils in, and I press the coils out. Don't leave the iron on for a long period of time or you're going to melt the coils. But now you can see they're nice and flat. Do that to both sides. Now if you'll notice with the zipper, there's like a nice little guideline, a stitching line here. You might need to be like me and put a pair of glasses on to see it, but that works really well as a guideline for sewing the zipper into your garment. So you'll take your fabric, and one thing that you need to think about, and this is something that I always do, is I lay the zipper on so that I know that I'm sewing it correctly. So now I know that the teeth should come in. Then I take the zipper to my machine. And I want to place the needle right into that line. I hold it down. And slowly stitch right along. And you see that the presser foot actually rides on top of the zipper. And now that I've sewn that, of course you would do it the length of the zipper and do it to the other side as well. But your zipper is in. You didn't have to have a special zipper foot for attaching the invisible zipper, and it always works. Just take your time. It's how I put invisible zippers in all the time, so I know that it works. So once your zipper is in, then you can come back to your pant and finish sewing up your side seam. Once the side seams are together, then what you want to do is take your pant and put one leg inside the other. Excuse me. They should be, one side, the right side should be out. So you put your arm in, put it inside. And then match up your crotch. Sew your crotch seam. Once your crotch seam is sewn, then you can come back and you can attach your pockets to the top of the pant. Now, when you're attaching the pockets, what you want to do, and this part is just a little bit tricky, so you just have to pay attention. Match your pocket up and make sure that they are matched, really matched. And what you're going to do is you're going to sew, by the way, I didn't say this before, but all the seam allowances, unless they're specified on this pant, are 5/8 of an inch. So you'll find your 5/8 inch mark and sew all the way around. So you'll sew from this stitching line around to this other stitching line to sew your pocket in. And once you've done that, that's what makes this so nice on the inside. So you sew your pocket in, and then after the pocket is sewn in, then you sew the rest of the facing onto the pant. So your zipper is in, your pants are all together. So our final step will be to talk about finishing.